Hey guys, welcome back. Today we'll be talking about a very specific topic. I think I've seen a lot of people, especially my students, private students, suffer very much for this particular thing. So this video is going to be about the mistakes I made when I made me lost my first Profem account. I know most of you are still struggling to pass or still finding ways, studying, backtesting, late nights, and overtrading just to pass your profile, but I'll tell you that you are doing everything all wrong. So I'm going to be listing my mistakes, what I did differently that made me pass my profile, and what I did, the mistakes I did that made me fail my first profile. So first, we're going to be talking about risk management. I know when people hear the sound of risk management, they feel risk management is using small lot size or risking small, but that's not the case. Risk management is understanding your risk. Are you satisfied with that risk? Are you able to take that loss without feeling anything? That's risk management. In risk management, you don't have to risk too much, you don't have to risk too less. You have to find a static balance or an account or a normal risk where you are okay with, you're very okay with. Let's say risking 0.25% is too less and risking 1% is too high. So what are you going to do in that case? You find a way to risk either zero point 0.5 or 0.75, and you have to manage this risk with a good risk to reward ratio. You have to have a basic risk to reward ratio where you are okay with taking this risk. Let's say you have a based or static risk to reward ratio of 3R or 2R. You know that if you lose two trades and you make a trade of 3R, you make back everything you lost plus a 1R. So you need to balance this thing. Risk management can be complicated sometimes because everybody have different approach to risk management. To some people, they will enter less, and as a trade is in profit, they add more positions. That is also a risk management. As a trader, you need to study the thing. The more you trade, the more you study, the more you back test, the more experience you get in the market, the more you find out things that work best for you. Okay, so if your risk management is risking 1% or 2%, you most likely blow that profit account very fast. And if your risk management is risking 0.25%, in a case where you're trying to study or you're trying to gain experience, I'll say that's okay, but you could trade that account for a year plus without even passing the profit. But you could get a balanced risk management that's not too less, that's not too much. Let's say a risk management of 0.75% or zero point 0.6 or 0.5% risk. If you lose a trade, you know you're not losing too less. And if you lose a trade, if you're using 1% risk management, you know you're losing too much. Because how many drawdown is given to you? 8%, some problems 10%. So if you risk 1%, you're likely going to have a losing streak of 8 trades or 10 trades, which will blow that profit automatically. Not understanding risk management also made me lost my first profit account. Now the second one is focusing too much on the lower time frame. As a technical analyst, I know we want to be in a market where opportunity never runs out. Like, I think this is the main reason why people trade multiple pairs, trade up to 10 pairs, currency or crypto or whatever. And this is why people overtrade. So you want to be in a market where opportunity never runs out. You just want to go here, pick a trade, go here, pick a trade anytime you wish. But that is going to lead you to destruction, to make you lose your profit account. So if you don't look at the higher time frame, looking at the bias, looking at what your market is telling you, because higher time frame removes the blur. You can see currently now on my chart, this is a 4-hour time frame, right? So if you don't look at this 4-hour time frame, look at where the market is going, look at where the trend is going. You could go down to the 5-minute time frame or 15-minute time frame and blow your account. Or on the 15-minute time frame, something like this could be telling you that this is a bearish trend on the 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame. Something like that could be telling us a bearish trend. For somebody who is stuck too much on the 5-minute time frame or the lower time frames, will continue selling. But if you come out to the 4-hour time frame, you just know that price is retracing back to a favorable gap to continue higher. So I see a lot of people these days focus too much, use 15-minute time frame, 15-minute time frame as their highest time frame. That's very, very wrong. So I used to focus too much on the lower time frame. I'm telling you from experience because 15-minute time frame back then was my high time frame. I will not do anything on the daily time frame or on the 1 hour or 4 hour time frame. I will not find my bias on the higher time frame. I will just go to the lower time frame, look for drawn liquidity and start selling or buying. The third reason was I was over trading. I could take up to 100 trades in a month. And I know this is normal for some people, but it's not normal at all. There's a saying in trading that less is more, and you don't have to look for every trade. You just need to look for the high probability trades. Now, the high probability trades does not mean that you won't take a loss in those trades. Of course, you take a loss. Then the painful part of it, because we are humans, we have emotions. The painful part of it is waiting for a high probability trade for maybe 2 days and finally taking a loss in it. You will want to make that trade back. You want, you start over trading, you start revenge trading. Let's say Monday did not give you a setup, or Monday did not give you your setup. Tuesday did not give you your setup. So then you're patiently waiting. Then Wednesday finally gives you your setup, and that setup is said to be a high probability setup, and you lost that setup. What you do on Thursday is, as a human, whether Thursday gives you your setup or not, you want to force trade. This is something that happened to me. So being disciplined, right? Being disciplined and taking the emotions, detaching my emotions from the charts, from the PNL, is the main reason I passed my first profile. If you can take a trade as a trader and let's say you make profit on that trade or you make losses and not feel anything, of course it will affect you, but let's say for a few minutes or a few seconds, and you detach yourself, you look like, oh, that's that, on to the next. If you can do that as a trader, then you're most likely going to be profitable in just a couple of months if you keep doing that, if you keep putting in that work. Overtrading kills account a lot. So if you want to overtrade, you can go and do it on your small account of 20 or $50. But if you bring overtrading to a profit account, you definitely lose that account, because if you don't wait for those setups, like everything to be cleansed, like remove the blow, wait for your particular setup. As a trader, you need to have a strategy, you need to have an edge, and this edge is definitely not going to play out every day. So if you don't wait for that edge to play out and you keep on taking trades, that's why I say detach yourself from the lower time frame. Only use the lower time frame for entries, but look at the whole market's direction with the higher time frame, because if you're in the lower time frame too much, price will give you law of entries, price will give you law of opportunities that might not even be worth the risk. So that was one of the mistakes I did to blow my first ever profit account. But I stopped that. The first profit I passed, I did not overtrade at all. I think the total trades I took in that profit, I passed it in a span of 60, I think 60 or 50 days, something like that, around that. And total trades I took was just 40 trades in nearly 2 months. You can say that. So removing this blur and focusing on the high probability trades sometimes will yield you more profits and will be even better for your psychology. Now, I also want to talk about revenge trading. Revenge trading was something was one of the mistake I regret to this day, because I think I remember that account I was in 3% a day, and because of revenge trading, something that had never happened to me before, I lost that 3% in a day. I went back straight to my balance. I lost a whole 3% in a day, which is very, very poor for a profit trader. What happened was that I didn't, like I told you, like I said earlier, there was no setup on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it was on Thursday, this fateful Thursday. I wanted to pick a trade so bad that I saw a buy, then I bought, and price started coming down to my stop loss. Then I flipped and I sold. I know some people do these things and they get away with these things sometimes, but trust me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Revenge trading is a mistake, it's a bad habit that you need to eliminate from your trading career. So once price was coming down, I closed my buy and I sold, and price started going up again. So if I still left the buy, yes, price would have taken the stop loss, but I had to cut the losses early so that my sell trade will hold. Then it was not even up to 15 minutes later, price started buying again and came for my sell, um my sell stop loss. Then I went again to buy. Then price started selling again. It was like everything was against me. That was when I knew what a seek and destroy a market is like. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a seek and destroy day. Your price just go up, find liquidity, come down, find liquidity, and just and the day ends as an indecision candle. I think if you've been following this channel for a while, you understand what I'm talking about. That was how I I lost 3% in a day, and that was a bad habit. I know some people do this thing once they don't want to take losses for the day. They feel like if you lost the first one, you can make it back the second time. People get away with this thing sometimes, but if at all you pick a trade and the trade is going against you, let's say you finally found your mistake and you want to revenge, like flip your bias to buy, then I will advise you do it on a demo account if you're so eager to do it, right? Not on your real account, or you do it on a different account. If you have multiple accounts, then do that on a different account. Don't do it on the same account because you might end up badly. A trade where you're supposed to lose 0.5%, you could end up losing 3% like me. So these are one of the fatal mistakes I made that made me lost my first ever profit account I purchased. But once I realized these things, I purchased another account again. I make sure I follow I followed all these rules. I avoided all these mistakes. That was how I was able to pass a profit account for the very first time. I don't know if this video is insightful. It's been long I recorded a video actually, so I'm just trying to get back to the mood. So I don't know if you find this video insightful, but if you do, I'll appreciate a like and a sub. Thank you. And until next time, be safe.